Welcome, Player Profiler News PrimeTime. I am your host, Jake. You can follow me on X, Twitter, wherever you want to call it, at Lewy Lewis 5. It's right there on the screen if you don't see it. But thanks for tuning in to today's show. Remember to check us out all week. We have stuff going on every single night of the week here at Player Profiler on our YouTube channel, Player Profiler Now Plus. On today's show, I will be covering news happening around the league, doing a NFL mock draft. I haven't done that in a while. And of course, giving you the rookie of the week. Without further ado, let's get fantasy. Couple of news around the league right now is banning the tush push. There's a vote on it today. I couldn't remember if it passed or not. I highly doubt it's going to. They needed 24 out of 32 voters from the owners to ban the tush push. I know the Green Bay Packers proposed it. I highly doubt it's going to be successful in this time around. I'd say it's going to be probably on the ballot pretty much every year, but I just don't see it happening this year. If it did get banned, I mean, that takes away from Jalen Hurts a lot of touchdowns. I mean, every year the Philly is just that damn good at the tush push, Philly tush push, whatever, brotherly shoved. I don't know what they actually call it, but I see if they did ban him, that's probably 5 to 6 touchdowns a year. And also, that might go to Saquon Barkley. I don't see it getting banned this year, but that's in the realm of possibilities. New York GM came out and said Russell Wilson is expected to take first team reps when team has their practices. I think this is kind of a given that they did sign him a 1 year up to $20 million. He's better than Jameis Winston, even though we love to see Jameis out there chucking it, throwing the 30 touchdown, 30 interceptions, but like 6,000 yards. It would have been nice to see that, especially Malik Neighbors would have been skyrocket to the moon. I still think Russell has some left in him, I guess, something left in the tank. I just hope he doesn't hurt Malik Neighbors in fantasy. Last year we seen him connect really well at the beginning with George Pickens, and then it kind of fell off and led to disaster. Ultimately, probably not bringing him back. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Also in news, Aaron Rodgers had a throwing session with DK Metcalf over the weekend at UCLA. This is coming after Rodgers and the Steelers met on Friday. Mike Tomlin, head coach of Steelers, labeled it as a really productive day. In my opinion, if this actually doesn't go through and falls through, I see the Steelers trading for a quarterback. I mean, they might be able to draft Jackson Dart in the draft. I don't know if they really want a rookie to start because that's usually not their go-to solution. I mean, yes, they did have Kenny Pickett, but he was not that good. He's the best quarterback in that draft. But even then, if this falls through, I see them trading for a quarterback, especially with Cam Ward projected to go first overall. What about Will Levis? Big arm, has 2 explosive wide receivers running down the field. Why not chuck it up to one one of them. Even though you think about this would be the same quarterback room from the Tennessee Titans of last year, with Mason Rudolph already signing as the Steelers quarterback right now. If they trade for Will Levis, oh man, you'd have the same quarterback room as the Tennessee Titans last year that got the number 1 overall pick. Even though Steelers are 10 times better than what the Titans are right now, I just thought that would be funny. But I would not be shocked if something like that happened, though, of trading for Will Levis or, looking elsewhere besides starting a rookie quarterback. Off the top of my head, I mean, there's still some free agents. I know there's another talk about Kirk Cousins could be another switch if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. To me, Aaron, if you're listening, you just sign for God's sake. Like, stop being this drama queen. I understand you're 40 years old. Hell, if I was 40 years old, I would already been retired. But if you're going to retire, retire. If you're going to play, sign up, play. I know Cam Hayward is freaking sick and tired of hearing about this. And a lot of the Steelers, I'm sure, are, because they just want to know who's going to play quarterback going forward and actually be committed to this team. If right now, obviously, he's not committed to this team, and it's always been about him, always will be about him. I'm a Packer fan. Hell, it's always been about Aaron, ever since they won Super Bowl. Yes, I understand. It came with its cost of him losing his family and yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, like, you made everything about you. You needed to have control of the team. Yes, they didn't draft a wide receiver in the first round for you ever. But at the same time, they gave you a hell of a lot of receivers in the second round. That's for damn sure. Jordy, Cobb, Adams, all these guys. But I just want him to make his decision if he's signing or not. Before we get into the NFL mock draft I am going to do today, let's hear a word from the Podfather.
If you play in Dynasty, you need Dynasty Deluxe, our premium package for Dynasty Leaguers. We rank over 300 players, updated every week, all year long. And there's a win now mode and a rebuild mode with Superflex and tight end premium controls. And a Dynasty League sync where you can say, sync down all of my sleeper teams, all my FFPC teams. And then you can browse around your leagues for who has needs. And then you can use our trade finder to see what kinds of trades are happening in leagues that are similar to the one I want to do. Then you can analyze trades using our trade analyzer, which balances the lifetime value, which includes pick values out to like 2028. All of that plus the rookie guide, $25 value is included. So if you're just in one Dynasty League, Dynasty Deluxe is well worth it. And use your host's promo code, and you can bump up to All In and get $25 off.
Yeah, like you said right then, if you want to go all-in package here from Player Profiler, use my promo code Lewis, Lewis, and that will save you $25. It's well worth it. You get the Dynasty Deluxe, the DFS Dominator, world famous draft kit, data analysis, and player ranking. So be sure to join that. Check it out. You won't regret it. It's helped myself all, at the beginning of the season every year, helping me pick the game-winning teams. It's just amazing. Join us. Another way is you're already doing it. You're following us here on YouTube. Another way is follow my personal podcast, Fantasy Endzone. I come out with a new show every Tuesday during the off season, but during the season I will have Tuesday and Fridays, so be sure to check that out. Now, with the NFL mock draft, we are in the month of the NFL draft, so why not start it, with a NFL mock draft from yours truly, Jake. Like I said, I haven't done one in a long time. I think it was back in January last time I did it. But with this, Tennessee Titans are on the clock, and I have them selecting Cam Ward, quarterback, Miami. I think this is just a given at this point that they are going to select Cam Ward, especially after hosting him for private meetings. And I just sounds like he balled out at his pro day. And Titans must like what they see. This is their pick finally with this coaching staff. You get Cam Ward. You still have Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears at running back, your wide receivers. That's where it gets tricky. I expect them, they have Kelvin Ridley, but why not pair them up with somebody early in the second round, third round, somebody you could grow with. I've always said if you're drafting a rookie quarterback, it's nice to have a rookie wide receiver with you just because you have that pairing. You guys come in, you go to rookie mini camps, you learn about each other, you have great, successful training camps, and hopefully it goes into the season and continues for your career. Next is the Cleveland Browns. I have them selecting edge Abdullah Carter from Penn State. To me, I don't think they like Shadir Sanders personally, but also if you could have Carter and Myles Garrett on the defense line, that's a fierce duo. You can't really double team each of them. If you double team one, the other one's probably going to get through and put a lot of pressure. Carter posted elite 92.4 F or PFF pass rush grading last season. That would be huge to have with Myles Garrett. So I have Carter going to the Browns at number 3. I don't think Giants are interested as well as much into Shadir Sanders either. I know there's been rumors that they have him as a grade or second round grade. Why not get yourself Travis Hunter, wide receiver cornerback from Colorado, his teammate? I just think you can't go wrong with this pick for the Giants. You get a needed, if he does play wide receiver, it's needed corner. He's one of the best in this draft class, and as a wide receiver, he's the best in this draft class. Why not have one of the better guys on your team? Pass on Shadir. You're going to have the chaos, a clown show, whatever. You're always going to be getting talked about, especially with Dion and having that circus coming to town. And it's in New York. Woo! Plus, these guys are playing for their damn job. I think right now with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, they could get through this season. And if they suck, guess what? Oh, Manning. One of the Manning coming back, huh? To New York. I mean, it's going to be with a new coaching staff, but hell, you get Malik Neighbors and you got Hunter. Sorry. You got Travis Hunter on your team. Those are 2 solid picks right back to back. Number 4, this is worst case scenario. I mean, for the Patriots, in my opinion, obviously, if Shadir got drafted second or third overall, it's an easy write up. Run up there, give it for Carter if he slides, or Hunter if he slid to number 4. But unfortunately, neither of them made it to the Patriots in this situation. I have them still drafting Will Campbell from LSU tackle. To me, I still just think he's the better offensive tackle in this draft. There's just, if you got to protect Drake May, and I think you could do that with having Will Campbell. I mean, hell, he's passed block for Jaden Daniels this past year, Nespire or whatever his name is at LSU. I think he overcomes the arm length. Even if he does, I understand you don't want to spend a 4th overall pick for a guard, but keep him out there until he fails. And if he does, he's going to make an all-pro guard at that. Number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. This has been pretty much given from the end of the year once these draft picks got settled in with the draft teams. Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. Assuming Hunter and all of them are off the board, this should be a slam dunk for Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been one of the highest graded defense tackle in college in 2024. He's just a monster, and this is going to help this team with the run game, pass game, everything. It might help, Walker and what is it? Hines Ward, or not Hines Ward, but Josh Allen Hines. I think it just takes his team's defense to the top. At number 6, Las Vegas Raiders select Eshin Janty from Boise State, running back. I'm getting on board with this. He's just stellar, posting a 99.9 PFF rushing grade and breaking ridiculous 325 tackles in 3 seasons. I just don't see them passing on a guy like Janty, and having him in the Chip Kelly offense. That is why he's going to be probably number 3 dynasty running back going forward behind Bijan and Gibbs. And number 7, the Jets select Armen Membu, tackle from Missouri. I think it's a perfect fit with you now having a quarterback for 2 seasons, roughly. I mean, with Justin Fields, but you also want to boost up this offensive line. I mean, I think with Aaron Glenn coming over, I think he's going to want to do some of the similarity things that the Lions did. They started with boosting this offensive line. What better way of last year they took Shano from Penn State. Get Membu as well. Your offensive tackles are golden for years to come. I just think makes a perfect sense, and it helps your team overall. Carolina Panthers, they could go multiple ways at number 8. I think a pass rusher is probably their best option. Jalen Walker, Georgia. He's got to be one of the top rushing edge rushers of this year's draft, behind obviously Carter. He's got to be one of the top 5 at least. He's very athletic, jumps off at tape. I just really like what he does on the field. At number 9, the slippage of Shadir Sanders stops here. I think at number 9, if you could get Shadir Sanders for the New Orleans Saints, he could be rocking it down there, keep that wrist strong, whatever you want to do, show the bling bling. And also, I think Kellen Moore gets his quarterback. Makes perfect sense. And he sits behind Derek Carr for one whole season, let him learn and go out the following season. I don't really like always starting a rookie quarterback right off the get go, just like that, unless if he shows you he is ready through training camp. If you could, keep him learning and learning and learning, I like doing kind of the Drake May approach of last year. Have Derek Carr start half the season after your bye week. If your team's not that good, put in Sanders. Let's see what he can do then. If you just throw him to the wolves like some of these guys, you might have a season like Caleb Williams did last year. It just doesn't sit well. I just like this landing spot for Shadir, and I think it makes a lot of sense for him as well going forward. At number 10, the Chicago Bears, they could go multiple different ways. I think they still beef up this offense line. Like I said about the Jets, Aaron Glenn came from Detroit. Ben Johnson came from Detroit. They did a whole lot of offseason acquisitions to this upfront line. Why not beef it up with Josh Simmons, Ohio State tackle? He would have been higher up on this list if he stayed healthy. Unfortunately, he did not. He injured himself and was out for the rest of the season. I don't know what his medical status actually is right now, but if they can have him at least half the season in his rookie year, I think that's a win for him. And it's going to be helping out Caleb Williams going forward. And it's basically, one of the top tackles that could be in this draft. 11, Will Johnson gets stopped here by 49ers. I think it makes a whole lot of sense too. Just keep on adding up. You wouldn't normally get a guy like this, Will Johnson, for the 49ers because 49ers are usually in the playoffs in the 20s, and you wouldn't get a guy like Will Johnson. Number 12, Cowboys, Tedero McMillan from Arizona. Makes perfect sense for him. Pair him up with CeeDee Lamb. That's a good combo because McMillan will separate. He'll get the contested catches. He's 6'5", runs a 4.46, I think he did at his pro day. Great decision. And it helped that team overall instead of being one guy dependent. Number 13, Dolphins need a tackle. They get Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas. I think it's just a great fit for them. They need it. I don't know what's going on with Armstead, but I think Kelvin Banks here makes a whole lot of sense. Number 14, Indianapolis Colts, Tyler Warren from Penn State. I just don't see how you could pass on this. I understand there's a whole bunch of mocks of him going forward, but there's just so many guys right now. I don't think it's going to happen before pick 10. I think right here at 14 is a perfect landing spot for Tyler Warren, and he'd be a really good addition in rookie fantasy drafts. I'll go kind of faster with these guys that are not skilled position, just kind of wrap this thing up. Falcons, Malachi Starks from Georgia helps out in the safety, and I think overall helps the team in general because safety is a needed position. At 16, Arizona Cardinals. I think why not pair him up with Matthew Golden from Texas? He kind of gives you, the DJ Moore-esque vibe to me. Pair him up with Marvin Harrison Jr. You get speed. You get technician as well. Well, you got speed and technician on the other side. Really great route runners. I think it's just a match made in heaven. And then you could have, Zay Jones or who's the other one? Michael Wilson can also stretch a field, but I think they just need to get another playmaker. And then, even then, you guys stretch a field with these guys. Who's coming across the middle? You're going to have Trey McBride. It just seems like it'll work a lot. They need to get better on the offense side of the ball and score more points in this division. To me, it makes a sense. Bengals, they draft edge Mikael Williams from Georgia. Sorry, I was trying to read myself. To me, it just makes a lot of sense. I don't know what the situation with Trey Henderson, but getting a very long body, I think is what, 6'6", 6'8", just looks the part. Big guy. He is still raw, but he can help with the pass rushing. Seattle Seahawks draft at 18 Tyler Booker, pad up that offensive line, and to me, it makes a whole lot of sense as well. He's just going to keep on building up and, helping this offensive line. 19, Jahad Campbell, linebacker from Alabama. To me, it makes a whole lot of sense. They need a playmaker at the linebacker position and a pass rusher as well, and that's what Campbell can be as well. My favorite pick of the draft right now, number 20, Omarion Hampton, North Carolina running back. Denver's running game last year was non-existent, really, besides Bo Nix really taking off running. To me, I have Hampton and Ashton Jeanty really, really close to each other in grades. I know even PFF has 93.9 grade for Omarion Hampton. I just love this draft pick if it actually happened to fall here. It fits nicely into Sean Payton's offense. He would be very high considered for your rookie draft at 102. 21, Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, adding on to the defensive line with rush, edge, help out TJ Watt would be great. 22, another match made in heaven, Colson Loveland, tight end to the Chargers. I think he easily could go earlier. I mean, maybe at the Bengals, something like that. But I just think it's just a match made in heaven, and he gets his old coach back, and he loved, and he's a great blocker when, he's not as big as Warren, but he'll get the job done, and he's a route technician that can get open when needed. At 23, the Green Bay Packers, Jahad Barron from Texas, corner. I think with the unknown with Jair Alexander, if he's going to be on the team, if he's not, I don't know. But even still, they have to have somebody on the other side. I know they signed Nate Hobbs from the Raiders, but it makes sense. At 24, I have right now Nick Emoware, safety from South Carolina. Just a freak athlete. His testing at the combine just freaking amazing. He makes a whole lot of sense here. I do, though, have a thought. Actually, I'll tell you the thought after I finish. At 25, I got Donovan Jackson, tackle from Ohio State. To me, they have to boost up this offense line. CJ Stroud cannot look scared in the pocket like he was toward the end of the season. And also, they traded away their whole offense line, so they got to build it back up somehow, some way. get it with Donovan Jackson at right tackle. The Rams at 26, Maxwell Hairston, corner from Kentucky. It helps out the defense. I think it's a great area to draft him right here at 26. Baltimore Ravens, I think Mike Green, I want to put him higher, but I just try and find where he would fit in. Maybe the Chargers would be a good landing spot, but I don't think they pass on Loveland if he is there. I love the crap out of Mike Green. He had 17 sacks last year. One of the better pass rushers in this draft as well. At 28, the Detroit Lions select Kenneth Grant, defense tackle from Michigan. To me, just boost up this defensive line for the Lions. Last year, we seen them rotate because of injuries. And at 340-pound frame and athleticism, it'd be huge help. Commanders, Nick Scorton from Texas A&M. I have them. He's an edge. They were in the conversation about trying to acquire some of these guys that are projected of being on the trade block, such as Myles Garrett. I'm trying to think who else was on the trade block. Myles Garrett was one of the top guys, but I think they boost up this defensive line and it helps out. Bills draft Siobhan Ravel, junior corner from Eastern Carolina, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. I think a corner is in need for them, and I think he fits a part. 31, Josh Conlery from Oregon. With the Chiefs looking like crap in the Super Bowl, beef up this offense line, get a tackle, help out Patrick Mahomes because he is your future. He is your quarterback. If he's running for his life, your team is running for their lives. And last but not least, the world champions, I guess, edge James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. Why not add more pass rushing? I know you could win, maybe a pass defensive tackle or some sort like Hampton from Oregon. But I think why not have a guy that was projected to be top 10, but didn't have the season they once thought he was going to. But the rich get richer, in my opinion. This is great landing spot for the Eagles and Pierce. All this rookie talk gets me excited. Let's hear a word from the Podfather about rookies.
Rookie. It's all about rookie talk in fantasy football right now. So why not go use all that knowledge to do something other than a mock draft? Chris Jimino won $8,000 with just 2 teams last year, and each draft took 5 minutes. That's pretty good ROI. You can start doing rookie drafts for money today on Fast Draft. The Origins tournament is live. It is the place to go and monetize your knowledge of rookies and use your favorite Player Profiler host promo code for a $25 deposit match. Now let's go start drafting faster.
It says $25, but hey, use my promo code Lewis, Lewis, and it will give you $1 for $1 match up to $50 on your first deposit. So you deposit 50, they match it, you get $50 in promo bucks. Well worth it. Also, you could probably find me in a lot of those rookie origin drafts. I'm hitting that all the time here in Wisconsin. I get to draft, so it's amazing. Check it out. You might be going up against me, Jake. Last segment is Louis' Rookies of the Week. I've been doing the last couple weeks. I had LaQuint Allen and Jack Beck last week. But this week, Jalen Royals, wide receiver from Utah State. Royals measured in at 6 foot, 205 pounds at the combine at 22 years old. He's a good player because of his elite production, route running ability, and his explosiveness on the field. Some key reasons why he stands out. In 2023, he had a breakout season at Utah State, leading the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. He hauled in 71 catches, 1,080 yards, and scored 15 touchdowns in 13 games. He also had a 23% target share. He had 102 targets that year in 13 games. In 2024, he only played in 7 games, but he had 55 catches, 834 yards, and still ended up with 6 touchdowns while having 17.5% target shares. He had 80 targets in 70 games. That's over 10 targets a game. That's like Brian Thomas Jr. at the end of the season when Mac Jones just decided to throw him 12 targets every game at least. If he did not get hurt, he would been on pace for 148 targets, catching 102 of them for over 1,500 yards and 11 scores. To me, it's just dominant. He showed ability to be the go-to target in the passing game. His route running and separation, he's got quick, precise in his route running ability, making him reliable for quarterbacks to throw it to him. Creates consistent separation with his great footwork, sudden cuts, in and out. Plus, he gives you that explosive speed. You know, he ran a 4.24, or sorry, a 4.42 40 at the combine. He also is still recovering from a foot injury that sidelined him for the whole season. He's dangerous in open field. His yak abilities is amazing. He's versatile. He can play both slot, outside, making him great for different schemes and effective in both short areas and deep threat down the field. If he lands in great offense system, he's a sleeper in dynasty and deep league drafts. He also contributed on special teams as well his last year at Utah State before he got hurt. His best comparable player on Player Profiler is Michael Gallup, but I think he's more comparable to Tyler Lockett as well, having sharp route running ability, creates separation at all levels on the field. His versatility, like Lockett, can play slot and outside. He could take the top end or tops off the defense, can track down the ball, deep passes as well. Also, if you've seen his Senior Bowl tape, he dominated one-on-one drills consistently, creating separation using, his quick feet. He's running by guys. He's also willing to do the dirty work, blocking. I mean, how there's a play where he got off the ball, just laid a corner on his ass, and he's just a big physical guy. He lost very few reps at the Senior Bowl. Ultimately, was unguardable in my opinion. Perhaps maybe the next Puka or Tank Dell as a riser coming out of the Senior Bowl. We've seen it multiple times the last few years. I love the way he plays. I just wish he would not have got hurt this past season, but I think that just means he could be the steal of the NFL draft and as well in your rookie draft as well. Get your shares of Jalen Royals. Let me know. Are you actually considering him in drafts? I am. I know I am. But let me know. I just want to know your thoughts. Also, if you're enjoying the show, don't miss anything out on Player Profiler. Follow us here at Player Profiler News. You can follow us on Twitter at Player Profiler now. We have a whole bunch of news blurbs coming out at you. Be sure to check those on playerprofiler.com. That is a wrap of today's show, Player Profiler News Primetime. If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow, like, subscribe. We got more expert analysis and fantasy tips coming at you every day, every week. And I'm always going to be here on Tuesdays. So be sure to follow me as well at Lewy Lewis 5. That's LEWY LEWIS and the number 5. Also, give my fantasy podcast a listen at Fantasy Endzone. And I'll see you fantasy gamers next week. Peace. Have a good week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to playerprofiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.